Hi everyone, coming to you from Los Angeles, California, the home of the Dance, Art and Life podcast. I'm your host, Danya the Gypsy, and this is a judgment-free zone. I'm looking for stories of dancers, musicians, and artists of all walks of life, their struggles, hard work, highs and lows of their careers, but most of all, the life lessons they've learned following their passion. Today's guest is a very special woman. She started to work with me as a student some 5 years ago, and her credentials speak for herself. It's her first competition with me was third from over 23 ladies in her category, the World Championship Pro-Am, third place. Then fifth place in the World Championship. Then we had some competitions as well. Then the pandemic hit. And then after the break of the pandemic, I guess, she became second, almost first. And then she needed one more year to actually win the World Championship. She's a lovely person with a big, big, big heart. Mm-hmm. And I just love to work with her every time I'm in Hawaii. Barbara Kaneshiro, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, Barbara, cheers. Thank you for coming from the beautiful Hawaii. You can move the mic, don't worry. Cheers. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for asking.
All right. So now that you had your motivational drink and you're not nervous anymore, right? Let's go to it. So, Barbara, obviously we work together as a student-teacher relationship, right? And but let's just start from the beginning. Where were you born?
I was born in Portsmouth Naval Hospital in Virginia.
Virginia. Well, we don't need the hospital stuff, but the place is Virginia.
Yes.
And so you were born there and you lived there? How long you lived there?
2 years, and then because my dad was in the Navy. So then he retired.
Okay. So you had a Navy dad, right?
Yes.
And your just because you have Asian
mother,
right? So you half Asian and half
white.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's why Virginia, or where is your dad from?
Missouri.
Okay. And your mom came directly from Japan, or?
No. So my grandma was born here. My grandfather.
So she's the second generation. First,
no.
I guess first.
I'm
second. No. Your mom is second generation.
She's Sansei.
Third?
Yeah, I'm Yonsei, fourth.
Yonsei, okay, I don't understand
fourth
those.
Generation.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, so you were born in Virginia, and then because of your dad, you moved to Hawaii.
Because my dad retired in Hawaii, because my mom was raised on Oahu.
I didn't know that, and I know you 5 years already, and we talk about a lot of stuff, but
yes,
this is interesting for me because then I get to know even more about you. So she was raised in Oahu, so her family came to Oahu, emigrated to Oahu.
Well, originally they were on the Big Island, but she came to Oahu when she was, I think, in her teens.
Got it. Okay. So you moved to Oahu from Virginia when you were 2.
Yes.
So you did your school and everything in Hawaii. So you're basically Hawaiian. Not really Hawaiian?
No.
Why
not?
I
mean, you wouldn't say that. You would say I'm haole.
Haole? What's haole?
White.
We learned some Hawaiian terms like, what is it called? Pidgin?
Yes.
Yeah, pidgin English in Hawaii.
So we talk really fast and we abbreviate everything and we think everyone knows what we're talking about.
Got it. That's why you say cause.
Cause, yes.
Mm-hmm. Without
and
any...
the kind.
The kind. Yeah. You talk about the person, you don't mention the name and you say, oh, the kind. It's like, who are we talking about? The kind. Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on track. So, okay, how is life in Hawaii?
So when I was growing up, I was like a minority. There are very few.
As a white person,
Yes.
you're minority.
Yes.
That's new, people.
Yeah. So
Okay.
in high school, they had something called Kiuhauli Day.
Which is?
So
Is it Japanese word or what is it?
Hawaiian?
Hawaiian. Okay.
I mean, the translation is stranger.
Stranger.
Yeah.
So you're a stranger.
But because I grew up with everyone,
Mm-hmm.
I was okay. They wouldn't beat me up. But on Kiuhauli Day, what would happen is you would get the white kids like that were military. A lot of them would get beaten up.
Really? Like bullied?
Oh yeah.
So why?
Those were the ones, but they were usually the ones, especially in my experience, they were the ones that were very disrespectful. You know,
got it.
to
got it.
to the local kids
Yeah,
and
yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
But because I grew up with everyone, they would say, "Oh, you're not Haole, you're Portuguese." So
Which
Portuguese
is the next grade of.
is not white in Hawaii.
Got it. Got it. And you mentioned that you made some friends with Samoans, with big Samoans. So when
Samoans and Hawaiians.
yeah,
So anytime anybody,
wanted to even start to bully you,
Yeah. my friends would come in
yeah,
and they tell me, I'll take them out. Let me know. I'll beat them up for you.
Wow. So a little bit rough, huh, in the school.
Yeah, but I think it was probably worse, probably for my brother.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Because he was what? Because
Because
he was a boy.
he's 5 years older than I am.
Ah, okay. So it
So
was a
like now
different
they
time?
don't have Kiuhauli Day. People don't know what I'm talking about.
Got it. So in your time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, okay, you went to school. Did you? You obviously did some sports, no? Or you didn't?
So I started off with ballet.
How old were you?
I was 5 because my mom
Mm.
used to take my cousins because my auntie used to work. So my mom
Used to work where?
I don't know where my auntie worked, but she worked. So my mom would we would catch the bus, pick up my girl cousins, and
Yeah.
they would go to ballet. And I would be watching, and then I would be dancing in the background.
So you were staying with. Well, let's back up a little bit because I didn't understand. So you went with your auntie, or your auntie worked and your
My
mom.
auntie worked, so my mom would take care of her kids.
Got it. So she was taking care of the kids, but the kids were
In ballet.
doing ballet.
Yeah.
So
I
she
tagged
brought them.
along.
Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is how you basically started. So you weren't interested, or you don't remember?
I all I remember is they told me I used to dance in the background.
Mm.
And then when I saw the Ed Sullivan show, which you probably don't have any idea of
Ed
what
Sullivan,
it is.
it's
It's a variety show.
okay.
And I saw the ballet dancers and I saw the tutus.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to wear a tutu.
And you were like what? How old?
Like 6 or 7. So
6 or
I
7.
wanted to wear a tutu.
Was it before or after mom took you to the ballet?
It was after.
After.
Yeah.
So you just taggled along and you were like, yeah, it's ballet, but then you saw the show and then the interest.
Yes, and I wanted to be on point shoes.
Oh, interesting. So you were about 6 when you saw the show and then you started ballet.
Well, they used to let me in the class already when I was 5.
Got it. So, and then you pursued the ballet how long?
Up until I was like 14 or 15, and then they had the Honolulu City Ballet in Hawaii.
Okay.
So they had auditions for the pre-apprentice program.
Got it.
So I danced with them for like about a year, and I don't know if I got burnt out or I started playing tennis.
At the time, when
like
you were 15, 16.
Yeah. Probably
Got
like
it.
14, 15. So when
But you were dancing already with the theater at that time? Or?
No, because I
So
looked
what
down at
was it-
people in the theater. I just wanted to be a professional ballet dancer.
Got it. So what happened?
Then I got burnt out.
Meaning,
And I played tennis.
Oh, so you started to play tennis while doing ballet,
Yes,
and
I
then
did both, and I had to make a choice.
why you chose tennis then? Who? Well, why you chose tennis?
Because of the boys.
Because of the boys. Interesting. In ballet, you didn't have a lot of boys, huh? I guess.
No.
Got it. That's why. So you were interested in boys. This is
Yes.
how you met your husband?
Later on.
Through tennis, though.
Yes, through tennis.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I know your husband, Rodney. Yeah. Hi, Rodney. If you ever watch it. So you met. See, I didn't know this stuff, and I didn't know like couple stuff that you told me just now. So I'm talking pidgin, I guess.
See? It's catching.
So you chose tennis over ballet because of the boys.
Yes. Essentially. Yes.
Essentially. Okay. Do you remember it like that?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Because I had a guest on the show, and he goes, "Yeah, I went because of the girls, right? I was interesting, right? I was better, and blah blah blah." That's interesting. All right, cool. So you when you were 16, you stopped ballet, and then
I
you started,
stopped. Yeah.
and then you start just tennis, right?
Yeah. So about 14 or so, I started playing tennis because there was this big match between Billie Jean King and this I forget
The
what the guy's
woman,
name. Yeah.
yeah.
And that's what got me interested.
The
in
men
tennis.
and yeah.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
sexes, yeah, the battle
Right,
of sex.
battle of the
I
sexes.
remember. I saw it in on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had this big match, right?
Yeah. So tennis was huge
Yeah.
then. So I got to I actually got to hit balls with Billie Jean King.
Really, no kidding.
Yeah.
You have a selfie?
No, I mean
There were no phones then.
we were driving, my cousin and I,
Mhm.
one of the ballet dancers. We were driving.
But he was your cousin.
Yeah, she was my cousin.
Oh, she
But-
was your okay.
yeah,
it
so we're
wasn't-
driving
it was
at
she.
Ala
Okay.
Moana, the
Mhm.
park.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Look, there's Billie Jean King." And she said, "Do you want to meet her?" I said, "Yeah." So we went out and she goes, "You want to hit some balls?" I said, "Yeah."
Wow.
Yeah, she's the nicest person.
Okay, he was just walking there, or he was living in Hawaii.
She
or
was
what?
she was playing, just hitting against the wall.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she grew up playing on the city.
It's a she, Billie
Billie Jean.
King.
Yeah. You know,
thought
like
it's
Billie
her.
Jean. Like
Yeah, I understand.
Michael
yeah,
Jackson?
but Billie Jean is. I'm thinking about a man.
no.
No offense, Billie Jean.
No.
I'm not educated in American history.
But
so-
her brother was a professional baseball player. So because in those times, like
Similar, right?
yes, and
Hitting the ball.
sports weren't the only reason why I got to play sports, I think, because most women didn't play sports. But
Yeah.
my mom was recruited to play semi-pro softball in the mainland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
So that's why she would let me play any sport I wanted to play.
Got it. But no ballet. Ballet wasn't considered sport.
No. And then I wouldn't tell anybody that I danced ballet
No,
because it
kidding.
wasn't cool then.
Ah, so you wanted to be cool and around boys
Yeah.
and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Blah blah. That's
Yes.
interesting.
Like now it's really, it's neat if you can do like dance and do everything else.
Yeah. Okay, so just let's back up to the ballet experience, because I wanted to know, like, did you enjoy it, or was it like, what was the experience like for you, the ballet stuff? I mean, besides no boys, but like experience itself, like the movement,
I
the
loved it.
training,
I loved it. And I loved the training. I loved the discipline. That's what I grew up with.
yeah.
So
So they taught you,
And I had-
repetition, like
Yeah.
1,000 times the same thing, and
Yeah.
plie and point the foot and
yeah, and
blah
I
blah
had
blah.
wonderful, loving teachers.
Got it.
So, I was
Yeah.
real fortunate. I remember when I told the ballet mistress at Honolulu City Ballet,
Yeah.
she was so sad.
Hmm.
Yeah.
When you
When I
told her
decided
that
to
you
stop.
said yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Did you ever came back to ballet at some point?
When my daughter started taking ballet.
Okay, we get there.
Yeah.
So you finishing ballet, stopped ballet, started to play tennis.
Mm-hmm.
And you obviously started when you were 14, and then at 16 you said I'm full in the tennis, right?
Mhm.
Because of the boys,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then you told me about your training in tennis, but walk us through, like, how was it? Like, you had a special coach and he figured out your nature and he let you do crazy things, right? So
My coach that let me do
your
crazy
tennis
things.
coach, your
Which one?
tennis
Because I
coach.
had a couple of coaches.
Okay, the coach that let you run rounds before competition. This coach I'm thinking about.
Okay.
You
so,
told me, yeah.
So that coach, he was a baseball player.
Okay.
And at that time, our high school team was like the best in the state. So
Yeah,
we had
yeah.
people that went on to become pro baseball players.
Got it.
So he trained us like he would train the
Baseball players.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he thought it was during the feminist time. So he always felt that I don't care if you're a girl, you're going to do the same thing that the boys do.
Well, wait, feminist time, meaning
Yeah.
that feminists just started, or?
Yeah.
Got it.
So we didn't
Okay.
get special treatment. If we did push-ups, we did full push-ups.
Oh, okay.
And then we ran
Push-ups?
a lot. Yeah.
You did
yes.
push-ups?
I did.
Oh, we have a story about
Yes.
push-ups.
Oh, do we? So we did a lot of running, and we only had 2 courts at the high school.
Mm-hmm.
So if you weren't playing and you weren't doing drills, you were running.
Wow.
So there was one guy I remember, he came late to practice because he went to like a National Honor Society meeting. So it was very legitimate.
Yeah.
But my coach said, "You make me sick. You just run. You run until I tell you to stop."
Wow.
And then he forgot about him. And then nobody
shit.
would want to talk back to the coach because otherwise they knew
they need to run. Yeah.
Right. So of course,
This is where your respect and discipline comes from, huh?
yeah.
Yet still you were like, I'll be clever.
Yeah.
We get to that.
Yeah.
This is so funny.
So I told him because nobody else wanted to say anything.
Yeah.
So I told him, he's been out there for a kind of long time. And the coach goes, "Oh, I forgot him."
Really? So he actually,
And then this guy is a type that, because he was National Honor Society, so
yeah.
he was running the entire time. Because most of the other people, they would walk. But he ran the whole time. He was like beet red.
Yeah.
So
And hot summer day in
Yeah.
Hawaii, I mean, it's tough.
yeah,
I know you running, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So I remember when he called him in, he was like so red and everything. So he told him, "You know what? Go home."
Wow.
So at my 20-year reunion, I saw him, the boy, that was running.
Renewing from tennis?
Yeah.
Ah, got it. Okay.
Yeah. So this kid was my classmate in high school.
Oh, got it.
So we were
Okay.
at the reunion, and I told him, "I'm the one that saved you. You'd still be running out there." And he goes,
To this day,
"No."
20 years later.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. That's crazy, man.
So I was used to running, and I played singles.
Yeah.
So,
It was very, like, I can imagine it was physically very challenging, right? Like, you gotta be so fit.
yeah.
And you
so-
told me, like, even before your competition, he let you run because otherwise you were
that was my nerves.
nerves. I know your nerves. Yeah, exactly. Right. So
Yeah.
this way he kind of like let you focus on your physical stuff, not per se made you tired, but like get you into your body instead
Yes.
of in your head. Yeah.
Yeah. And he would put me on
is-
the last. I'd be the last match. So I was
Mm.
always the clutch match.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then we go on at 12. But in those
12.
days,
What
in
does
the
it mean?
afternoon.
Oh.
So I'd be the last match
Yeah, yeah,
usually
yeah.
because he knew that I could outlast anybody out there.
And it's the strongest sun and the
Yeah.
hottest hour of the
Yeah.
day.
So as
and-
long as I could keep the ball in play.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if I knew if I won one
Smart.
set, guarantee I would win. Because
Gotcha.
girls in those days, nobody did fitness training.
Like
Yeah.
physical stuff. Yeah.
We did weights, we did everything.
Uh-huh. That's amazing. This is where your bite, your drive comes from.
Hmm.
I really like that because otherwise we couldn't function.
Not
if
with
you
the
wouldn't-
distance.
Yeah, with the distance. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm coming to Hawaii every 6 weeks for 4 days, and Barbara trains by herself, alone, in her home and in the studio. And I come every 5 to 6, 7 weeks. Now she's in LA because we have a competition in Las Vegas. Hello, Holiday Classic. She comes like 2 days before the competition. If we have a competition, we meet. Now it is in Vegas, so she came to LA to train, and now we will drive tomorrow to Vegas. And I'm glad you're doing the podcast with me as well because it was kind of tight schedule, but yeah, we just came back from training, so.
This is scarier than the training
The
part.
training part, yeah.
Mhm.
No. Just relax, have your wine, and we just talk, nothing
Okay.
else. Yeah.
Mhm.
So you played the tennis, and it was physical, and it was really challenging, yeah, physically, but I guess mentally too, right?
Yes.
Because, yeah. How long you were playing tennis though?
14 to maybe about my second year in college, I
Which
think.
is how old?
Mhm.
I'm not
like
familiar.
19 or 20.
19 or 20.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar
Yeah.
with the college and the
Yeah.
American school system.
Because you graduate
so-
like about 18-ish,
got it.
17, 18.
So about 20. So 6 years. Did
So-
you were you like winning competitions, and did you go national as well, or how does it work?
So like at my high school, I was like the number one player. So you always have
Oh,
people
okay.
trying to challenge you.
Yeah.
And then I was like top in the...
Sounds like medieval times, like,
I
hey,
know.
I want to challenge.
There was one girl.
Really?
She was like a freshman.
okay.
And she told me, and by that time I was like, if I win, whatever, I don't
Mhm.
care. But she told me,
So you were kind of over it or something?
yeah.
Mm.
But she told me, I hope you don't feel bad if I beat you today. And ooh, that started the fire.
That motivated you.
Well, I beat her 6-love. 6-0. I said,
Wow.
no, not
No way.
happening.
Yeah. You have this type of thing.
Yeah. So
I
you-
use it sometimes with you, and I get you kind of like heated up, and you go like, I show you, Daniel.
that's what happened. Like for college, I wasn't going to even try out for UH. But somebody said, you wouldn't make it even if you tried. So I said, oh,
Really?
really?
Hmm.
So I showed up, and because usually you're asked to
To play because of your history, and
Right,
they
right.
they knew that you
Right.
played, blah blah blah.
right,
Yeah.
right. So I just showed up. I was a week late to the tryouts,
Yeah.
so it wasn't looking good for me.
Mm.
But there was somebody that knew me that played on one of the top teams on the east side,
Mhm.
and she told him, you know what? Let her try out. She's pretty good.
Mm.
So I
Got it.
ended up, and nobody saw the way I played. I had a very odd way of playing. So all I did was keep the ball in play.
Mm.
and I could stay out there all day long because of all the training.
Yeah. So it was the stamina that
Yeah.
kept you.
I would
in-
drive people crazy. I'd make people break their rackets. They'd get so mad
Really.
because I would keep on bringing, the ball would keep on coming back.
Yeah,
It wasn't
yeah, yeah.
pretty, but it came back. So I ended up on the playing team as a freshman.
That's impressive. That's cool. So and then you in college you only played 2 years, you said, right?
I played
you
1
ended-
year.
1 year.
Yeah. And then the second year I ended up, I went to community college. So I played 1 more year at community college.
Yeah.
And then I got into my major. In
What was your major?
dental hygiene.
Dental hygienist.
Yes.
Hygienist? How you say it?
Hygienist.
Hygienist. Yeah. We saw a movie with Barbara, and there was a guy coming, Spanish speaking guy coming and say, I want to be a dental hygienist. So that's why we're saying you're a dental hygienist.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so you started the major, you stopped doing tennis, and then pretty much you kind of like what? Like you stopped sports for a while, or did you have any other hobbies or
Well, I played like
recreational and stuff? Or?
no, like what do you call it? Like they have like tennis clubs.
Okay.
So I played in the men's
Outside
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
But it's just like a club. It's not like
It's like kind of like dance, but it was like men's B, women's C. So I played in the men's league.
Got it. Okay. Why? Because you were so strong against women, or they just didn't
It was
want you
more
there?
fun.
It was more fun, more challenging.
So the women would only eat like salad afterwards.
Yeah.
The men had like real food.
Including you.
No, the men, they hated playing against me.
Really?
Yeah.
Because there was a pressure of woman and
Yeah.
losing and
Yeah.
Did you win over some guys? They were pissed, I guess.
Oh, they were
Breaking rockets.
like, I hate losing
Racket
to
or rocket? How you say it?
Racket.
Racket.
So the men
yeah.
used to say, I hate losing to women. I said, well, I hate losing to men.
Wow. So you are a feminist kind of?
I guess.
I guess. But you're dancing ballroom dancing and you need to follow. I don't think so.
Well, you know about that.
Well, that's
Another
a
story.
theme. That's a subject for another podcast.
Yes. That could be an entire podcast.
All right. So, okay. So you did your major. You stopped playing tennis. You just played recreational or whatever the club was, right?
Mhm.
And then,
And I got pregnant.
that's right. Well, at what point you met your husband, though?
I met him when I was 18.
Through the club.
Yeah.
Through the tennis. So he
Yeah.
was playing tennis as well.
So my high school tennis coach, he had
The baseball guy.
team.
The baseball guy, or
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he had a team.
Mhm.
So the team he was on, he had lots of men, but he needed women. So he recruited us high school players.
Okay.
So that's how
And
I
you
met my husband.
So he was in the team. He was playing tennis.
Yeah.
And then obviously you play tennis together, and he goes hi. Barbara goes hi, and then I'm interested. I started tennis because of boys. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Got it. All right. So, you got pregnant with Kelsey. Hi, Kelsey. If you ever watch your mama's podcast, we mentioned you. She goes, oh, mom. I know Kelsey. Yeah, she's fun. So, yes. So you had your baby girl, and then how long after you went back to sports, or you hobbies, I guess? Like how did it work? Like how long afterwards? Obviously you were
So I was
full on.
delusional.
You were delusional
Yes.
after the birth.
Yeah. Well, before the birth, I kept on telling people, I'll be back playing tennis in 3 months.
Okay.
I ended up never playing tennis again.
Okay. So what happened then?
So when she was about like 4 or 5,
4 or
she
5, yeah.
started showing an interest in ballet
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because she loved to. I mean, you know her. She
Yeah.
loves to perform.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would take her to all the ballet classes and stuff, and she did ballet, tap, jazz. She did.
Was it
everything.
the same place you went?
No,
Was it a different place?
I'm old. My teacher died, but
Wow. Okay. So
but she
a new
got
place.
it at school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was our
she
after school care.
So she had a ballet school or program after the school or within the school.
Like it was like right after school, and they would pick them up and walk them to the ballet, which was on the campus.
On the campus. Okay, so it was on the campus. Okay, got it. So you brought her there, and then what? You got interested back in ballet, or what? What was?
No, so what
going
happened? Because she used to take from there, and she took from another place as well.
Independent
then-
of the school, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then I started kind of thinking, since I'm taking her anyway.
I have twitch in
Yes.
my hips, in my toes, in my
Yes.
body. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
So what was funny is like going back to dance as an adult with an adult body
Yeah.
versus when you're 15.
And bandy and
Yes, and
limber. Yeah.
and you have a butt when you're older,
Huh.
and it's like, you look and
Well, you half Asian. You don't really have a butt, do you?
my leg just like it wouldn't do what it used to do.
Got it. And how old were you at that point?
Like maybe in my early 30s.
Early 30s. So
Yeah.
you went back to ballet. Okay. And you said 20s you stopped the tennis, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like about 10-year gap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. But there was like some desire to move, desire to kind of.
I missed it because I would watch my daughter, and then
yeah. And all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
The what show? The Davy. What you said?
Ed Sullivan show.
Ed Sullivan show came back.
It
yes,
did.
yes. After,
It did, but I couldn't wear a tutu. I had to wear a 5'5".
What's 5'5"?
Because tutu is, but I was much bigger, so it would probably have to be a 5'5" instead of a tutu.
Ah, okay, got it. So that's funny. So you went back, and how long did you do the ballet?
Well, I was doing it for a while because I would do, and then what happened was
it early 30s though?
Yeah.
Like 32-ish?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then my daughter started doing like
Theater, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw some pictures of that.
So I
in your
used to-
house, yeah.
I used to take her to the theater, and then somebody said had told the director,
Yeah.
her mom can dance, right? Because they always needed adult dancers.
Somebody said,
Had said
was it
to
the
the
National Hawaiian Theater or something?
Yeah.
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 So you
So
had
that's how I got
experience
into
of-
that's how I got into doing theater.
Because
And
I
then we
know
used to
you,
be on
you
stage together.
singing as well, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's so interesting how it went, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you started with ballet and then you went to
'Cause-
tennis because of the boys, of
Yeah.
course, and then you went back to ballet because of your daughter,
Yeah.
and then you ended up in theater performing on stage, right?
And it was because and also like musical theater is easier on the body than ballet.
Well, it's not as demanding. You have some
Right.
choreography on stage.
And it's easier
yeah,
choreography.
Yeah, you're not probably on points on the toes, right?
Right.
Point shoes and stuff.
Yeah.
Got it.
Because we used to look down. And, when we were ballet dancers, we looked down at people that did musical theater. That was like,
so it was ego, right?
Oh, yeah.
Ego driven, and ballet dancer or something special
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff like
Yeah,
that. Oh,
yeah.
got it. I can imagine you had an ego though. You're so humble and so always so, kind of on the quiet side. You know what I mean? Like
I'm loud in Hawaii. I'm considered loud.
Well, not for LA or for
Yes.
where I'm coming from.
Right.
You
right.
like so like yeah, hello and this and that. Yeah, I remember. Okay, so this is in your 30s. How long you did the theater for? You're still kind of in contact with
Yeah.
those people, right?
So
And
whenever
you
they need me,
help out
Yeah.
and
because I did
dress
a lot of
dress
I was
the,
a dresser. Yeah. A
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
it.
yeah. So you have the connection there, and I know your friend Lisa.
Yeah.
We call
Yes.
her Theater Lisa. Hi,
Theater
Lisa.
Yes.
We call her Theater Lisa because she has another friend, Lisa.
Who's a dancer, Lisa?
Dancer Lisa. Yeah, how Dancer Lisa. Yeah, so you're in contact with them. But how long did you do? So you kind of fall into it through ballet, through your daughter.
Yes.
And then you started to perform on the stage in the
Yes.
National Hawaiian Theater.
At the like Diamond Head Theater, there was an Army Theater.
Got it. So
Yeah.
different
Hawaii Theater. Yeah, different venues.
Mm-hmm. And then so you did some plays and some
Yes.
stuff, and then got it. Okay, so how long did that last?
It lasted till probably like 2006, because then I had to take care of my parents.
How old you then? 2006. Well, I just want to have
That's
chronologically. So you started in your 30s, 32,
Yes.
and then like what, 10 years you were 42 or what? Like
So I don't do math in my head very well. Maybe like, so it was what, 20 years. So it must have been like early 40s.
early 40s. So it's 10 years then.
I guess so.
Yeah, 10 years. So for 10 years you were doing the musical theater and had like, you were always a dancer in the musical theater, or you took also different roles in there, or whatever was
Primarily a dancer, but then I did do a lot of plays.
Got it. So spoken as well.
Yes.
So you need to perform or sing or whatever.
Usually not. They wouldn't make me sing by myself.
Got it. Okay. But I know you took some
Yes.
classes,
That
right?
would make me too scared. That's why I took singing lessons, because I wanted to get over that.
Conscious about yourself singing.
Yes.
Yeah, got it. All right. So 42, then you stopped the theater because you needed to take care of your parents. I never met your parents.
No.
We met after.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Like some half a year or year after they died, something like that, or 2 years. Something.
No, it might have been longer.
Longer.
Yeah.
No, I thought you still had your dad.
No.
No. Maybe I'm.
No, because both my parents passed. Then my mother-in-law passed because she stayed with us.
At what? Maybe it was your mother-in-law that was like year later we met.
And then my father-in-law
Something,
passed,
yeah.
but he never lived with us.
Huh. I don't know. We never talked about it in detail, so I.
But that was like my best ad lib acting, because my mom had Alzheimer's. So I always had to, come up with answers like on the spot.
Got it.
So she wouldn't get agitated.
Got it. Maybe the theater helped a lot, huh? You picked up some acting over there, and that's why.
Oh, and then it was like I soared with my acting, because I was really good at.
With your mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, Mom, how you doing? Who are you?
Yeah.
Wow. That must have been very difficult, though.
Yeah. Because I used to visit them like every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then one of my friends, her mom was there, so I would always visit her mom and talk to the mom.
Yeah.
Because I remember her, when I was in high school.
Yeah.
So I would always talk to the mom, and we would sing together.
Got it. That's amazing. So you took care of your parents for like what, 5 years, 6 years, less, more, 8 years. Wow,
Yeah. And then after
wow.
my father passed,
Uh huh.
6 months later, we ended up having to, because we already knew that my father-in-law had Alzheimer's, so we were kept
Yeah,
on telling my mother-in-law to come live with us,
got it.
but she wasn't ready. She goes, "No, I can handle it. I can handle
Yeah,
it."
yeah, yeah,
And then she ended up taking, with Reese,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, the dog.
That it's a dog. Rishi's a
Yeah.
dog.
So Reese pulled her, and she fell down. She hit her head, so she ended up having to go to rehab.
Wow.
So, because I was telling my mother-in-law, you have to, the caregiver that my dad had an
Yeah,
opening. So I said, you gotta bring him in.
yeah,
But she
yeah,
goes, no,
yeah.
I can handle it. I can handle it.
Gotcha.
And then she fell, and then we
Mm.
had to find someplace.
Got it.
So what was really, really sweet was, when I called the caregiver, he said,
Uh-huh.
I don't have openings. And I said, oh. Then he called me back like about maybe
Uh-huh.
like the next day, and he said, you know what? You're just like family to me. I took care of your
Wow.
parents. So he said, your father can sleep in
Yeah.
my room with me.
Wow.
So he took care of my father-in-law. So he
That's
said,
so
yeah, he's my
nice.
roommate.
No, but
Yeah.
like in Hawaii, it's like that.
Yeah.
In Hawaii, is like people helping each other and doing stuff.
Yeah.
It's really, it's very nice to see. Very
Yeah.
nice to see. All right, so you took care
Yeah.
of your parents,
Yep.
right? And then obviously all the legal stuff and all this stuff, right? And then I know you ran and did triathlon, right?
Yeah.
You
So I
told you
did.
mentioned
I did a marathon. I did rough water swim because that was all on my bucket list.
yeah. Ah, okay.
Yeah. Then I did I did triathlons.
And at what point you were past 40s though, right? Or was it before 30s?
Kind of like 30s to early 40s maybe.
So in the time when you were taking care of your parents, you were doing all those triathlons, marathons and stuff?
No, it was before. Must have been before. I think it was before.
Got it. So it was after you finished with tennis, you took on those challenges to what, challenge yourself or what? Like you were missing the discipline, you were missing the movement, you were missing the challenge, or what? Why did you do those? Or it was just on your bucket list? I mean,
So I wanted to get in shape. So,
after the birth.
yeah. So I
Got
thought,
it.
well, you know what? Maybe I'll do the Great Aloha Run because that one it was 8.2 miles.
Okay.
So I said, maybe I'll get in training for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then there was like a free training group. So I went to that free training group.
Yeah.
And then they said, well, why don't you do the marathon?
Yeah.
So I said, oh, no, and they said, just,
And how long is the marathon? Is
26.2 miles.
wow, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. So
And you did it.
I did 5 of them.
5.
Yeah.
You a machine. I call her machine because she is one. No, like incredible. Like with your exercises you're doing, and every time I come back, it's like oh, I can tell you did the exercise because it's much better, right? Super sore all the time, right? It's
Yes.
like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get to that. And to the push-up story
Yes.
for sure, because
Yeah.
it was so funny.
I learned from that story.
You learn from that story,
Yeah,
for sure.
never again.
For sure, yes.
Never again.
All right, so Barb, so you got you did those marathons, and
Mhm.
then after,
And I was a terrible swimmer, so I said, my bucket list, I want to be able to do the rough water swim.
with waves and everything, yeah,
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
How was the experience like to train for the marathon? Let's just stay here for a second because it really is very interesting for me. Like, what was it a daily training? Was it a what? How did it go? or was it like oh yeah, I'm doing it, just get into
Oh no,
shape?
so I ran like, because you have to be very disciplined. Yeah, there's like a whole thought process.
Yeah.
So like in October, that's when you do your longest run. You do like the 18-mile run,
Okay.
and then you back down from that. So that's your peak. You go up to 18 miles, and then you start coming down.
Well, but isn't it 23 miles or
26.2.
26.2?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you never.
You never run the 26?
Mm-mm. But like you said, it's a machine. So once you get into that zone, you can keep
18,
going.
yeah.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
But you got to run smart. So you have to know, like
Your
how you're
pacing.
breathing.
Yeah. Your
and-
pacing.
Yeah, it's all about pacing.
And I can imagine mentally it's so
Yeah.
crazy. Like
Yeah.
you at
So 1
some-
mile, you think, I'm going to die. I'm just going to die.
What mile did you think that?
All throughout.
All of them.
You'll start and you go, I'm going to die. If I can just make it to that next one.
Yeah.
And then you get to that next rest stop and you're like, oh, I feel good now.
Well, wait, but you had rests in between?
Or drinking water. Like the water stop.
But you
So I'm
didn't
drinking-
stop. You
No.
still ran,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like a checkpoint.
Yeah,
type
so
of
it's
thing
like
and
you just kind of refresh.
refresh your mind.
Yeah. Yes.
Because body didn't stop. Like you kept. That's impressive.
And I had a friend, and we used to crack up all the time because we would start off super slow.
Yeah.
And there was one girl, she always, she goes, oh, you guys run too slow for me.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, go ahead. And then we made bets on when we would pass her. So we passed her. The halfway point is Hawaii Kai.
Which
So-
is 13 miles. But it goes up and down hills though, right?
Yeah. I don't know what that point is. Like maybe must be like 13, but you're going from Ala Moana
Got it.
to Hawaii Kai. And then I said, we're
So
going
if
to pass
you don't
her.
know what Ala Moana and Hawaii Kai is,
Sorry.
Google it.
Yeah.
Google it.
Yeah. But I told her at that turnaround point, I said, that's
Yeah.
when we're going to pass her.
Got
because she would run fast and die
Uh-huh.
at the end and have to walk
it.
all the
she
way
wa-
in.
Oh, got it. Got
yeah.
it. Got it.
Yeah,
got
yeah.
it.
Whereas if you run slow.
Well, you
know-
pace yourself.
Yeah.
Right. You pace yourself.
So we would talk stories the whole time, my friend and I. Like if you
Well,
heard
wait.
us.
So you ran marathon and you were like what? You were talking to each other?
Oh yeah, the whole time.
What?
We would tell stories. So and they're the most
To
ridiculous
like distract
stories.
yourself from
I don't
but
know. We're
I
just
mean,
crazy.
you're not running fast if you can talk, right?
Yeah. But because you're running 26 miles, you're not running like a sprint. So the
Got it.
strategy is very different.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're not the Ethiopians. We're not going to finish like super fast.
So what was your time?
It wasn't like the best time I had was like 4:28 or something.
For
4 hours. Yeah.
Man, I never ran marathon. Maybe I need to challenge myself to do that. And then you did triathlon as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How was that like?
It was easier
Really?
because it's shorter distances.
And
And then I'm one of those that I don't have like a specialty. So I'm kind of even
so
on
it's
everything.
all even,
Yeah,
equal.
yeah. Whereas some people, they're really good runners or really good swimmers.
Yeah.
So I did better probably in my age group in the triathlons.
I'm eating almonds. It's awesome. All right, so after those triathlons and you're with your parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happened after that? Like, did you?
Oh, well, I had to stop the marathons because I got diagnosed with thyroid disease.
What was that?
So I was
Thyroid, like
yes,
thyroid.
metabolism.
Okay. Metabolism.
Yeah.
What is it like?
So what had happened was I was I got really thin. So I
Okay.
I was telling people, I've been running the marathon.
Mm.
You gotta run because you get really skinny. I eat
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
anything I want, and
Mhm.
and
But
then
it was a thyroid.
yeah, it was a
Thyroid.
thyroid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So you're taking medication for that now?
yeah, because they had to kill the thyroid because I was down. I was under 100 pounds.
Really?
Yeah, so people thought I was on ice.
Hmm. So you needed to stop the marathons because of that, or
Yeah,
was it?
because I noticed anytime I trained for a marathon, what would happen is once I got into the higher mileage,
Mm-hmm.
it would throw my thyroid off again, and they would have to adjust my medication.
So you kind of overtrained. You
Yeah,
would say?
I think that was the thing that would throw me off because when I would get too high in the mileage,
Mm-hmm.
it was like too much for my body. And I had another person that was running marathons, and she was the one that told me. She goes, "Yeah, I can't run the marathon distance anymore because it affects my thyroid." And I said, because they always would have to readjust it and then adjust it back.
Got it. With medication. Wow.
But I haven't had since I
didn't
stopped
know that.
running. I haven't
But
had to
you have
adjust
like
it.
special, like different body types, right? Like when you have short muscles, it's better for explosive power,
Uh-huh.
right? Like shorter people as well, like, right? And like long skinny people, like long distances, long. So it's kind of like the golden standard, like short people for sprint and long tall
But I'm
people
tall.
skinny. Well, for Hawaii, yeah. Barbara
Yeah,
always says
I'm tall.
I'm super tall. How tall are you?
5'5".
5'5", yes. For Hawaii is very tall, right? Right. So you stop the marathons, right? And
But that's a
then
distance. The longer distances actually was what I was better at, because I could go forever. But I wasn't as
we know from the tennis training.
Yeah.
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 So at some point you stopped,
Yeah.
right? Was it after your parents died or
no
Before?
before
before? And then you just took time off to take care of your parents.
yes.
And then after that, what happened after that? Like did you still go to theater or what was
So people were kept on calling me, like the my one dear friend who's the artistic director at Diamond Head.
Mhm.
He I would see him occasionally, and he would say, we really miss you, and he would let me come to the Saturday class as like a scholarship student. He said, whenever you can come.
Wow.
Yeah.
So nice of him.
Yeah. He was
Yeah.
he goes, because he took care of his mom, so he knew exactly
Like what's
what I was
going
going
on and
through.
how
And
difficult
yeah,
it,
and he
it
told me,
is. Yeah.
you need this. And just like at yoga, they told me the same
Of
thing.
course,
You
of
need
course.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you went there,
Yeah.
and it kind
That
of
was like my respite.
gave you some sanctuary
Yes.
for your mind to actually
Yes.
take the mind off of
Yeah.
stuff. And so this was the musical theater, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, did you pick up then other hobbies then, or was it the time after that you actually started ballroom dancing, or
So I started
was there something in between?
No. So I kind of started after my parents passed,
Mm-hmm.
because what happened was 6 months after that, then we my mother-in-law moved in with us.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. And
And
I
then was the
remember
time you
I was
kinda-
already, like, I had started I started taking salsa aerobics.
salsa aerobics, yeah.
Yes, it
To
was very-
kind of like
Yeah.
get in shape.
Yeah. And the teacher, she said, have you ever considered doing ballroom dance?
Mm.
And I said, funny you should say that, because I said, I always wanted to, but I just didn't know.
So you saw some videos on YouTube or something, or
No, I would watch like Dancing with the Stars and
Dancing
stuff.
with the Stars.
Yeah. So
Got
I
it.
thought, wow. And I saw Karina.
Karina Smirnov. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Hi, Karina.
Yes. My
Okay.
idol.
Yeah, your
So-
idol. Yeah. And then you met your idol.
Yes. And I couldn't even.
You couldn't even dance and speak. It was
No.
like, a dream.
And you kept on
come
telling me
true.
she's human. She's human.
She's a human being, yes. Karina Smirnov is a human being, yes. And Barbara was starstruck. She couldn't even talk. We come to that.
Yeah.
So you started dancing. The teacher said did you try ballroom dancing, and then what? You started to go to ballroom.
So she invited
group
me.
classes
Yes.
or
Group
okay, got it.
classes.
Okay, so
And I told her, then she asked me about competition. I said,
Yeah.
"Oh, no, I don't
I
want to do
wouldn't dare.
competition."
Yeah, I wouldn't dare.
No,
whatever.
no,
It's
no.
like no, not at all. And you were how old at that time?
Probably my 50s.
50s?
Yeah.
Like late 50s, early 50s?
Maybe like mid 50s.
55?
I'm guessing. Yeah.
Something. So you only dance, what, 7 years? 8
No,
years?
longer than that, I think. Because
Okay.
if we've been dancing 5,
Okay.
So
How
a
old
few
you
more
now?
years.
How old are you now?
60, I'm going to be 64 this year.
64. No, next year. We're still in
Yeah.
2022.
Oh, yeah.
64, and if you were 65, so 9 years, right? It will be 9 years. And then it's 5, so 4. Got it. All right, so you started, and she said, yeah, competition, this and that. So, but you didn't start competition from the beginning. So you had some group classes for
So
ballroom?
group classes, and then I started taking the private classes,
Private
but it was
classes?
just not with the intention of competing until I saw Susan. And I thought,
Susan.
yes, because Susan
And who is Susan? Hi, Susan.
Hiwa.
Yeah.
So she's like an older woman
Yeah.
that
In her 70s.
yeah.
Right? 70s?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I said, if she can do it, and
The competitions, you mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no. What happened is, because they have a lot of social dancing stuff.
Got it.
So they would do performances. We had something called Latin Fest,
Mm-hmm.
and then she performed during Latin Fest.
Got it.
So I said, well, if she can perform during Latin Fest,
Got it.
There's no
got you, So you
reason.
got inspired of
Susan inspired me.
of an older citizen, Susan.
Yes. So I started
We
doing...
love you, Susan.
Yes.
I know Susan personally. She's a lovely person.
Yes.
Yes.
So we started... there were like a bunch of us that started.
Yeah.
So we would do like anything at the Palladium. That's like the...
Like a big space, and people can.
And then they
rent it
would
out,
they would
yeah.
ask, they would need people to do performances.
Got it.
So like I was lucky enough to get that opportunity because the teacher knew that I had theater background. and stuff.
Got it.
So-
Got it. Okay, so you started to do group classes and then privates. When was your first competition? Was it Hawaii Starball?
Yeah,
Hawaii Starball.
that had until
Hi,
I met
David.
you. That was
Well,
the only thing
what-
that I knew.
What was it your first competition, Hawaii Starball, when we
Yes.
met?
No,
We like second, third,
maybe like third or fourth.
third or fourth Hawaii Starball.
Yeah.
Okay, so your first competition was how was this experience, Hawaii Starball?
I thought it was such a big deal.
You were a big deal, or
No,
the competition was a big deal?
competition, Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Got
I
it.
didn't know what was going on,
And you were like, oh my God,
and I didn't know how it worked.
got it.
And then I
Did
think
you win anything?
no. So what was really, really funny was up until the scholarship,
Yeah.
I was doing terribly.
Mm.
And then I did the scholarship, and all of a sudden I was fabulous.
Because?
They changed judges, the judging panel.
The judges. I see.
Because the instructor asked, "Did you do anything different?" And I said, "No, I couldn't. I mean, how can you improve
How
that
can you
much?"
change within?
Because I was like fifth or something, and then all of a sudden I was second. And
Got it.
so I remember I didn't understand. Like, I don't understand how that works.
What's going on? Okay, so and then you practiced, and did you do some mainland competition with this teacher
Yeah, later on.
later on?
Yeah.
Where was it?
We did one. Where did we do? Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah, we did Stefan's one.
And how did it go? Like, same,
No, by
different?
that time, yeah, it was. I was having a hard time with my instructor.
Why? Like,
Well, I guess he had like a student that he enjoyed dancing with,
okay,
but it wasn't me.
it wasn't you.
No.
It wasn't you. Like,
No.
I know the story a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the story a little bit. But you told me that this is one of the reasons we started to work
Yes.
together, because you said that it went so far that you kind of like,
Yeah.
you just wanted to quit, right? Like,
Yeah, I was to the point where I even told Ron Montez, rest in peace. I mean,
yeah,
he was so sweet
yeah,
because I told him, I'm terrible. And I really believed it by that point.
yeah.
Because I was always
of the
told,
teacher.
yeah, I was always told you're the worst at connection. Anybody's better than you at connection. I even went to the mainland to take lessons from people in the mainland, hoping that
Where in
maybe
mainland?
in Virginia, where my daughter was.
Oh, so you went to visit your daughter, and then you went and looked up
classes.
some
Yes.
studios and take
Yeah.
classes. So your teacher actually, so you better for your teacher.
Yeah, so
type of
that he
thing?
would say, wow, your connection is better.
Ah,
'Cause
got
I
it,
kept on
got it,
thinking,
got it.
maybe if my connection, if I became a better dancer, he'd
Mhm,
like
mhm.
dancing with me.
Yeah, got it. So it was total kind of like pushing you down and
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I was like the worst dancer.
got it.
I mean, when you met me, I was a wreck already. I was ready to,
You were ready to quit.
yeah. And I told Ron Montez, this, I'm taking
It was
this
the
lesson.
you were, when you told Ron, it was you thought the last Hawaii Star Bowl you dancing, right?
Yeah.
And you were like, okay, that's it, da da da,
Yeah.
right? And then
And he even told me, he was very sweet because he
Yeah.
said, I've danced with people way worse than you that have way worse connection.
so you had a lesson with Ron as well?
Yeah. So I
Got
had a
it.
lesson with Ron,
Yeah.
and he said, it would be a shame if you quit.
Hmm.
It's kind of what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then what happened at this Hawaii Star Bowl?
So at that Starbucks, when we were driving, prior to that, I had a talk with my friend Theater Lisa.
Okay.
And Theater Lisa told me, because I told her, I'm terrible. I don't have connection. And she said, you've been dancing for decades. And she said, I always know you as a really good dancer.
Yeah.
She said, I can't imagine you being so bad in ballroom. And when I told her what was going on, she said, why? I'm sure this costs quite a bit.
Yeah.
And she goes, I don't know why. Why are you dancing with someone who obviously doesn't like dancing
Yeah.
with you?
Yeah.
And then that lit something up in my head.
Yeah.
So when we were driving to Hawaii Star Ball, I was with that teacher,
Yeah.
the student that he preferred.
The favorite
dancing with.
student. Yeah.
And I was in the back seat. And nobody talked to me the whole time.
So you were like,
I was like a
air.
fly.
Yeah. Like
And
an
I
air.
remember saying, this is it. I deserve better.
Yeah.
That was the aha experience.
So
where
it's
I
kind of
just-
like
I said, I
Yeah.
had enough.
okay.
And then
So you danced the competition, and then what happened?
I met this really strange guy.
No, it was slightly different though. You told me something else.
What?
You were talking to my student.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I came to
Yeah.
Hawaii to dance competition, and you were talking to my student, right? And
Right.
you were chatting, and
And
we
she
won't
was,
mention the name,
Yeah.
but yeah. So
she was telling me her experience, and she was saying that, he's different. He's not just a dance instructor.
I'm blushing. I'm blushing
Yeah.
now.
He's like a life coach.
Yeah, I don't. What is it called when you say the
Disclaimer.
I'm not a life coach. I'm not a life coach. Disclaimer. I need to write it in the beginning of the
Right?
podcast. No, I'm not
But
at all.
she was saying like all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
like she lost like a ton of weight.
Yeah, 100 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah. And that her confidence
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
everything got boosted.
Well, through dancing,
Yeah.
through coaching, but we worked really
On the mental, she said
Yeah,
you
yeah,
work
yeah.
on all levels.
all levels. Yeah, yeah.
And I
yeah.
found that really intriguing.
Okay.
And then during the competition, we kept on like running into each other.
Yeah, I was like, "Hi, how you doing?" This and that,
Yeah.
and I had no clue that you were talking
Yeah.
to her at all. Like I had no clue at all. And then, yeah, go ahead. It's your podcast. I'm just a host over here. So
So I remember-
you spoke, right? Then you obviously you said you watched me, what's going on,
Yeah.
and on the competition on the
Right.
floor. And then I remember I was invited to Hawaii to do a showcase, right?
Right.
At what's the studio called? Dance Sport Hawaii
Aloha
Dance
Dance
Sport
Sport.
Aloha Dance
Dance
Sports
Sport.
Center. Hi Yana and Lucas. And I did a show there on
Yes.
their and then I had a workshop or something, and you took some lessons from me, and I didn't know it at that time, but she was checking me out as a teacher, and she was like, "Let's see what's up," right?
Yeah. So at that star ball, because I knew that was going to be my last. I remember
Yeah.
after the last dance with that instructor, I remember going, "Oh, I'm done."
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I was so happy that I was
Yeah.
done
yeah.
at that point.
Mm.
And then and then I had always thought about different things. So
Uh-huh.
I had thought, who would I dance with?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought,
So you didn't want to quit the dancing per se. You
No.
just wanted to, like, you had enough of the teacher, of the situation, and you want to just
because I still wanted to dance, and I said I don't want to let that person be the reason why I stop.
got it.
Yeah.
So the desire was there to actually
Yeah, the desire was
keep
still
going.
there,
Yeah.
but with the distance, and because there was not many opportunities on the
In
island.
Hawaii. Yeah,
because
yeah.
there's not very many.
Yeah, I remember
professionals.
the lesson you had like sneaky questions, like, so what do you think, like, would you come to Hawaii to, like, teach? Are you coming for vacationing to Hawaii? And I'm like, that's a strange question to ask. This is not a dense question, but I knew where you going with that, right? So
Mhm.
and then so you took the lessons, and then but did you tell me? I don't remember anymore. Did you tell me on those lessons, or
Yeah.
when I came later, that
No.
you want to work with me?
I told you at that time, and you're like,
And I'm like,
and you
Whoa.
didn't want to cause. You're like, I don't want to cause drama.
yeah, I didn't want to interfere with the other teacher, because it was like, it's kind of like
Yeah,
moral
professional.
professional type of thing, right? And then I was like, whoa, like, and you go, no, I'm stopping dancing because I'm not happy, and this and that. I was like, well, let's talk about it, right? And then you asked me, like, would you be willing to come? I was like, well, if we do it, I explained to you what I did when
Yeah.
I was in Europe, that I was, functioning like that with my coach.
Yeah.
It wasn't per se pro-am, but it worked, right? I went for lessons every 5 to 6
Yeah.
weeks, took bunch of lessons for like 3-4 days, and then went home and did a lot of exercises, practice, and this and that, and then went back, and I just explained it to you, and you said, let's do it.
Because I never practiced. I mean, I had never done rounds. Like in the first 2 years,
Yeah.
we would practice, practice the rounds and all that.
Yeah.
But we never practiced. After that, we never practiced. I never did like a whole dance with him.
So when you started with a teacher, you were dancing rounds?
Yeah.
Like for the competitions,
Yeah.
right? And then afterwards, it was just like...
Because even like during the lesson, I would never talk back or say anything, because if
Mm.
I did, the rest of the lesson would be a lecture.
Got it.
So I said, no, I have to keep my mouth shut.
Mm.
I better not say anything.
So it was bad. It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we would only do like portions of dances. So like there were some dances that we competed in that I never really did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is how we started to work together, pretty much.
And I had talked to the female instructor, the owner
Of the studio. Yeah.
Yeah, and I told her what was
What
going
you were planning on.
and,
Yeah.
and then I had told her, if you don't agree with this, I'll stop. But she was gracious enough to say no.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I said, what I'll do is I'll make sure that the dances will go to our studio and blah blah blah.
Yeah, I was okay with that. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
And this is how I spent every 5 weeks or 6 weeks in Hawaii.
And everyone thinks it's
Disclaimer.
a vacation, and I'm like, no, he never goes to the beach.
Never go to the beach. Like everybody thinks, like, oh yeah, every 5-6 weeks you're in Hawaii, and I was maybe in those 5 years. Maybe when I was teaching you, I was maybe 4 or 5 times on the beach, like for 2 hours.
Yeah, at most.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a working trip, and I like Hawaii a lot. Like,
And
it's so awesome.
It was so funny because I remember you asking me, so is the reason why you wanted to work with me because of how I danced? And I said, no. And you were like, I remember you gave me that look. What?
What's going on? Yeah, I didn't understand why you asked me, right? Yeah. But then we talked about it, and you said you spoke with my student, and
well, no, not only that. That was part of it. But then I saw how you interacted with one of the students in the workshop.
Lily? Oh, I don't remember that.
So that person had cerebral palsy.
Oh yeah, I remember. He always fell and stuff. Yeah.
And I had seen instructors kick him out of the class.
What?
Yeah, they refused to have him in the class.
Okay.
And I remember what you said was, you told him, no, when I was starting out, this is hard. So I would fall left, right, all over the place. So if you need, you can use, the chairs, the tables, and you never called him out on that. And then when he would ask questions because of the cerebral palsy, it was hard to understand what he was saying. And you would say, I'm so sorry. My English is so bad. I'm thinking, I don't know. I think your English is pretty good.
Yeah.
And it was because you were kind.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm blushing again.
No, but that truly was it. Because there's so many really good dancers.
Yeah, many people don't know me as kind, though.
No, you are.
I'm crazy. For many people, I'm crazy, kind of loud and obnoxious.
No.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah.
But you're like a softie.
Don't say the secrets.
Sorry.
Gosh.
Sorry.
He's
really mean.
She drank some wine already, so she's like, oh yeah, spilling all the secrets. You cannot tell everybody. All right, Barbara. So you started dancing. We started dancing. We started to work together, right?
Yeah.
And then, tell us the experience, because it was really funny. We started dancing in December. Was the show. Then you came to some lessons. And then
in March. Yeah.
No.
Oh, the two lessons.
Yeah, the two lessons that you had. And then we started in March because I think I was busy or something.
And then
I
couldn't
come. Yeah. And then
I came.
then you came, and I was like,
In
oh,
March.
this lady is serious. This lady is like,
I'm on it.
I'm on it, right? Working and stuff. So we did the routines. I don't remember if we did the routines on that trip. You came for 5 days or something?
Because that
Right.
was my break from school.
Got it. So you were
So I got all the routines and I
Yeah.
had them in my little binder.
Yeah. Very organized.
All
I was-
my
I was-
exercises.
I was super impressed with all the exercise, everything. She wrote everything down, this and that. And then I was like, okay, Barbara, let's do it. Because she was so excited and working so hard, and because she was, I guess physical, right? Like you, very physical
Yeah.
person. Everything went through, through hard, like
Yeah.
hard work and this and that. And
Yeah.
I can imagine that's why this instructor said the words in the connection, I guess, right? But it wasn't that. It wasn't that issue at all. It was just because you're very physical, right? So I gave Barbara, this is the
Oh,
Push
is it
up.
push-up time?
push-up time.
I better drink.
Yeah, let's go. Cheers. The push-up time story. Yeah, so I told Barbara, okay, you will do push-ups. It was kind of like I was like your tennis coach, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I gave you kind of like, this running experience and go, right? And then so I gave her push-ups to do, remember? And then it was very difficult for her, so she decided not to do those push-ups and come
I
up
did them
with
for 3 days.
yeah, for 3 days. And then she goes, no, fuck that. I'm not doing this. It's difficult, blah, blah, blah. And then she came up with a brilliant excuse that she doesn't do the push-ups because, Daniel, I'm very hard with my arms, and I push you all the time when we dance. So if I would do push-ups, I'll become much stronger. And then, I will push you even more. So I explained to her what was really the point of the push-ups. Let's not go into details, but and then she understood. Then she did the push-ups, and all of a sudden the connection became better, and she did less with the arms. She didn't push and pull because she understood what's going on.
Well, I was trying to think. I thought maybe he won't notice.
Yeah, maybe he won't notice. I come
And
in,
you
and it was
noticed
like,
right away.
yeah, and it was really funny. And since that point, she understood, okay, I gotta follow the instructions and I gotta follow the exercises and so on, because he always notice if I don't do it, right? And the second time was with running, I think. I caught you second time. But it wasn't like you were running, but it wasn't like the intense, the skipping, remember? You were just running, but you were like, yeah, sometimes you didn't remember.
Oh, I couldn't get the up to the 150.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. But
Yeah.
I ran the whole time.
Yeah, you
but-
ran the whole time, but it was like, it was like, okay, Barbara, we gotta adjust certain thing.
Mhm.
Let's not go into details, but I caught you second time, but not because you didn't want to do it,
Yeah.
but because something didn't work. So we figured it out. Yeah. So we did the routines, right? And then she went off to Hawaii again, practiced the routines. There was also one of those things that Barbara didn't understand. Oh yeah, I need to do it on my own. I need to know my routines. I need to know every step that I'm doing, not just like, oh yeah, I'm doing stuff, right? So she was training alone, and she did the routines. When we came together, it just worked. It just fell in place because you knew what you were doing, and then we just figured out that you need to follow those leads and stuff like that, right? But what was really funny, we were talking about the competition, and I was like, yeah, Barbara, let's do the competition, right? She goes like, sure. what did you say? Like, yeah, sure, Daniel, let's do the competition.
No, I think what it was the studio owner wanted to go to Embassy.
Yeah.
So I said, "Are you going to be at Embassy?"
Yeah. I was like, let's do the competition. She goes, sure, no problem. Daniel, the studio goes to Embassy. You want to do Embassy? I'm like, okay, sure, but you aware that it's a world championship? Yeah, okay. She had no clue what she goes into.
Because the only thing I knew was Hawaii Star Ball.
Hawaii Star Ball, yes, a small competition on. Well, it's now bigger, but a local competition, right? And she goes, yeah, let's do Embassy. So we did, and there were 23 couples, and
I didn't know what was going on.
just explain what you went through, because
So when
it is really funny. It was really funny.
We go there, and then we dance the 5 on. Yes! And I thought I was
It
done.
was the first round, and
and I thought I was done.
why you were thinking that it was done?
Because I'd never been in anything that had quarterfinals and semifinals.
Yeah.
So I remember you telling me, "Oh, good. We get to do it again." I mean,
We got in the we went to the next round.
And
Not
I-
bad for your first competition. And you go, what?
I
I'm
already
dancing
danced
again.
it.
Yeah,
I already
I'm
danced
dancing
all
again.
5.
Yeah.
So I was
It
very
was so funny.
confused. And then you see all these people that I see on YouTube. I'm like, oh my
This was
gosh.
funny because Barbara is kind of like a groupie of dancers. She always goes. She watched the YouTube videos, right? And then she has a feeling she know those people.
Yeah.
And then she just goes, "Hi, I saw you on YouTube." And the person is like, "Hi, I didn't see you ever." No, funny. You're such a lovely person. You come up and they start to talk to you. You always talk to people, right?
But I tell them, you have to understand, I'm from Hawaii.
Yeah,
so that was
yeah.
always like the fix.
Exactly. Yeah. And then we dance what? We dance semi-final.
Yeah.
And then Barbara starts to realize that's a big competition, right? And it was like, okay, Barbara, we'll see if we in final. And we got to final. It's like, Barbara, you in final world championship. And she goes, what? And then it kicked in and the nerves start to like, right? I was like, oh my God, like, wow. It was first competition of us. Yeah.
And then I found out to my dismay that I'm short. So I would never I could never find you. Where are you? Where are you? And you tell me, yoo-hoo, I am here.
Yeah. All people. So, but let's just rewind before the competition, before the embassy, when you came to LA. I surprised Barbara with a private lesson. So she came in, and at that point I was teaching at Karina Smirnov studio. Hi Karina again, which was the hero, a role model of Barbara's, right? And I just spoke to Karina and say, okay, could we have, are you teaching, before embassy? Do you have some spots open, for my students? She goes, yeah, sure, no problem. So I organized a private lesson with Karina, and then I let Barbara know about this lesson, and she was thunderstruck, and she was like, what? Tell us about that. How did it feel to meet your role model? It's like, for me, it would be like, I can imagine meeting Johnny Depp for the first time.
Yeah,
my idol.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It was
or Heath Ledger.
exactly.
Yeah.
And she must have thought, what is wrong with this woman?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's new for you, and it's like, yeah.
Because in Hawaii, we don't have people coming in like that. And we don't have, all these world-renowned people. So all we do is we see it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And that was our only experience.
How was the experience to have a lesson with Karina?
She is just amazing because
Mhm.
I saw her coaching like seasoned pros,
Yes, yes, yes,
amateur
yes.
couples.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh my God, she made it relevant to somebody who's like a newbie
Yeah,
in
yeah,
bronze
yeah.
dancing in
Yeah.
embassy. So the stuff she gave me was
It was exact
really,
on the point. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It
yeah.
helped.
It wasn't
It
like
boosted.
way over my head, but it was
It boosted
what
the
I needed.
confidence as well. Yeah,
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 yeah. And you said she was even cheering, right? I didn't even hear
Yeah.
her. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you were so out of it. It was like,
Yeah, I didn't know what was
oh my
going on.
God,
Like,
yeah,
where
I didn't know
are
what's
we?
going on.
Oh,
So so you didn't realize it was World Championship. It was a big deal, right?
no.
I kind of tricked you because I didn't
Oh,
want
yeah.
you to
That would
be.
have been.
When we started to dance, I figured because later on I understood why you changed the teacher, why
Mhm.
that you were like I don't know how to say it, bullied or pushed down or whatever you
Yeah.
call it, right? So
Yeah.
you like when we started, I remember like I was like, oh my God, like she's
Mm.
so polite and she does like I'm asking a question and she doesn't say anything and I was like, well, what's going on, right? And then slowly but surely we started to talk about it and you explained to me the history and the situation. It was like, oh, okay, makes sense because yeah, it was like, oh, you were like, oh my gosh, I cannot touch the teacher because he might say something wrong or something, you know what I mean? Like
And
it
he may
was
not want to dance with me anymore.
exactly, and he coming from the mainland, and then I was like, Barbara, chill, you in Hawaii. Yeah, it was very interesting to actually like get to know each other,
Yeah.
right? Because you didn't know like what is my style. You just witnessed a little bit. I didn't know you, and then
Mm-hmm.
you let me stay in your lovely house in your guest room, and
The 4 dogs.
I got to meet the 4 dogs, the Dachshunds. Is it Dachshunds?
Mm-hmm. I
Dachshunds,
have
right?
2 dachshunds
Two
and then 2
Dachshunds,
terriers.
two terriers and dachshunds, and they're lovely. And one of them didn't like me for 2 years, and then slowly but surely he warmed up to me, but he was always right. Anyway, so we derailed from your story. I'm just thinking about
I
those
know.
things that
I
I
know.
came back to. I mean, what I experienced. Anyway, so we danced the first competition, right? And then it was kind of like, oh my God, right? It was like amazing. And you ended up third on your first competition with me in Latin. And it was kind of like, what just happened, right? And then we danced the Hawaii Star Bowl as well,
Mm-hmm.
right? It was totally different to your competitions with your other teacher, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, oh my God!"
Mhm.
And
And Ron Montez was so sweet because he probably taught thousands of people.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I know I'm not the most wouldn't be the most memorable person in his whole life, but I remember when we got some,
Yeah.
like an award. I remember he said, "I'm so glad you're still dancing."
you still dancing, yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know that though. I didn't know that.
it
Yeah,
was so touching.
yeah, yeah. And we danced that, and then we kind of like started to figure out what we're gonna do because we saw each other. In the beginning was like
Not
every 2
often.
months,
Yeah.
3 months, right?
Right.
You came to LA when you had break in your work, and then
Yeah.
I came to Hawaii when I could, but
Yeah.
it wasn't kind of like on the schedule, right?
Right.
And we
right.
were trying to figure out what's going on, and it's just really. I remember like I came for 4 days. We were on the floor for 10 hours at some point. 10 hours, like morning.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, because we'd go home and
Yeah,
come back
yeah,
because
yeah.
the studio was
Yeah.
very close.
Yeah. Yeah, studio was very close, and we was like at some point like I came for 4 days and we used like what 3-4 days, and we used like 30-40 lessons in
Yeah.
the beginning. 42, I
Yes.
remember the first trip was 42 lessons.
That sounds about
42
right.
lessons in 4 days.
Yeah.
3.5 because I flew in and so
Yeah.
on. This
Yeah.
was like we were, and I went back home, slept, right? Went, rings under the eyes, and we were just working and working and working. This was great time. And also because we start trying to figure out, there was a lot of things that we were talking about and getting to know each other and explaining and this
Right.
and that, right?
Right.
But it kind of like fell in place, and then we were on a good course, right? And then the second world championship you ended up 5th.
Yes.
Why you think this was happening?
Because this got in the way.
The mental.
And then because it was like, I did 3rd, so I can't do worse than 3rd.
Yeah. So
I put a lot of
you
pressure on
brought
myself.
a pressure of yourself, and also
And I was by myself this time. I didn't have like all the people around me that I knew. And
yeah. But we talked about it afterwards, and I explained to you that it wasn't just the mental state that you were in, but also you were slowly realizing what you got into. You were slowly realizing the players. You were slowly realizing what's going on. You were slowly learning how the competition works. You were slowly realizing, okay, this is the judges, right? And then, the internet and so on. You started to watch more competitions. You start to educate yourself and get to know the field.
Yeah.
You see, the
ignorance was bliss.
Exactly, right? So
Yes.
it was like they say, the beginner luck, right?
Yes.
And you had no idea, so you came in. I remember the first competition, you were so happy because you had no idea what's going on, and you were just dancing, and we were like, yeah, whatever, let's dance, right? And it was this performance, this happiness. Well, not just that, but because you worked technically and dance-wise, you were worked really hard, right? But it was really ignorance is bliss, right? You came in, you had no idea what's going on. Oh yeah, I've just been in Hawaii on the competition now, world championship. You didn't even realize it was world championship, right?
Yeah, I didn't know what that meant.
Exactly, right? So world champion, world championship.
Whatever you call it.
Whatever we call it, right. And then you started to realize and getting to know the play field, right? And it was like, oh. And then the pressure, and then self-talk, and this and that, and we worked on that a lot. Let's not go into it.
That was like during the COVID. That was
during
like perfect.
the COVID, yes.
Yeah, time for COVID.
So then COVID hit, and we didn't see each other for about 9 months, right?
Yeah.
We had some phone calls and, check up on each other and how you doing and, what's going on. It was like, the travel to Hawaii was banned at that time.
Bad.
And it was like nothing, we cannot reach each other. And then the whole Zoom thing started and online lessons and this and that, right? And then I remember, like, for me, I didn't even look into it because I was like, well, if we do, like, I cannot propose online lessons. Like, like I was always there. We were working for 20 lessons, 30 lessons at a time,
right?
2, 3, 4 days, right? And then you came up and you go, Daniel, I'm doing yoga online, right? So let's try the online lessons because we didn't see each other. We didn't work with each other for 9 months.
Right.
Let's just keep that going because, like otherwise, who knows when it ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we started online lessons, and now we have kind of like the mix of me seeing you every 5-6 weeks, and then we have checkups every week online, which is perfect because it really helps to actually in the work, right? Because
it's real good for especially to work on the mental stuff.
Yeah, the mental stuff as well.
Yeah.
And then also, I need to tell you another funny story. Barbara is always doing her online lessons at home. And then she goes, "Well, Daniel, how does it work? I have only carpet." I'm like, "Well, online you have those, floors that you can put up and put down and so on." So she was looking into it, right? And what happened? Come on, because I'm talking,
Yeah.
I'm talking. Come on. You
So,
tell them.
I found something and you approved of it,
Yeah.
but it doesn't come to Hawaii.
Yeah, it didn't.
It's not available.
It didn't deliver to Hawaii.
So I
yes.
said, I'm sure there's a way I can make one.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I looked online or whatever, and I ended up at Lowe's, and I was talking to the people over there.
It's like, people, I need a
dance
floor.
Yesterday.
Yesterday, yes.
So we got like a plywood thing, and then I had, because the other thing that happened during the pandemic was the studio that I danced for closed.
Yeah. It got closed.
Yeah,
it got
so
closed.
it was even worse.
Yeah.
So because she was closing, I asked her if I could have some of because she had extra laminate.
Yeah.
So I took the laminate.
Floor, yeah.
I took laminate flooring.
Got it.
So I made.
This is where it is from.
Yes.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I didn't.
I thought you bought it.
No.
Got it.
I'm
so
cheap.
You got. Oh, stop it.
Yeah. So I talked my husband into, because he saw me kind of trying to figure it out.
Figure out stuff
And because I'm smart, I said, I made like I was like helpless.
Got it.
So I got him to do it. So he made my floor. The only thing
Husband,
is it's heavy.
if you're watching, thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
So he made you a floor, and you drag it for every online lesson.
Yeah.
To dance on it.
Yeah.
I know. It's so funny because when we do some exercise, I'm checking up on exercises and stuff. The doggy comes in, starts to lick her on the face because we do stretching or something. It's always so funny.
Yeah. Everybody knows in yoga class, they all know Hansi.
Yeah, Hansi
That's
is
my
a dog.
dog.
Dachshund dog.
Yeah. They've all seen his butt.
Yeah.
Everything. Because he's always kissing me. I can be in a headstand. He's kissing me.
Well, he likes you. What can you say?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had that, and during the pandemic, we started online, and now we have kind of like the mix of this, seeing each other in person and have online checkups and so on. And then we had, after the long break, we went back on the floor, and we danced Embassy as well, right? But this time, I was telling you, like, Barbara, okay, you're dancing for 3 years now, 4 years with me, 3 years at that point, 3.5. And, we need to set goals. And, I see you in your field. I see you being first on Embassy. And Barbara goes, big eyes, and goes like, So you didn't believe at first.
No, because the other thing was, like, I hadn't been really practicing in a studio until, real late.
Yeah.
So I remember after the competition, somebody came up to me, the instructor and the student, and they said, we knew you were going to do well.
Yeah.
This and that.
After the first competition, or?
After the COVID.
Oh, after COVID. Yeah.
And I said, you don't understand how much this means to me. Because I said, I didn't have a studio where I was practicing. I said, I was practicing at home on carpet.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then when you came to LA, we practiced in LA, and then we went to another studio.
Yeah.
And we practiced. But also there was a rumor, Barbara, remember?
Oh, there are many rumors about me.
Right. But one particular was really funny because people in Hawaii didn't realize what we're doing. We just explained what we're doing, right? Every 5-6 weeks, when we started every 2 months. And then we started like online lessons and stuff. And the other thing, you are doing pretty well because you learned from the
mistakes
push-up challenge,
debacle.
the debacle, right? And the like the thing you're doing really good, and why this thing works is because you are on your own working your ass off. Like I see it 100%, like it's crazy, right? Like I give you all these exercises, all the programs. At some point we change your diet as well, which was very challenging for you, because at some point you were like, I can't even have my chips and wine when I'm watching TV. At some point I told you to not watch TV, right? Because of some stuff we worked on.
Fasting.
We did fasting.
People think
right?
that I'm crazy.
Yeah. But it's right. You were already skinny, right? But you lost even more weight.
Yeah.
You got in even more like better shape, and you have this goal. Like I wouldn't do it if you say to me, okay, yeah, I'm doing it for fun if the competition is, but you have goals. You come to me, you say, okay, Daniel, I'm serious about this, and from your background, you like, I tell you every time, you're a machine. You're going, right? So without you working your ass off, it wouldn't work, because if you don't do those exercises I'm giving you, and then we meet in 5 weeks, right? It wouldn't work, because if you don't do it, like it cannot.
That's what I think I never understood, because I always thought I didn't think of it as an asset.
Yeah.
I thought everybody would do that.
No, not everybody. And the other thing is, right, like the rumor, I started about talking about the rumor. The rumor was that when Barbara stopped with the first teacher, and then she started with second teacher, and she had this success on the first competition, and then we were dancing in Hawaii again, right, after the World Championship, and there was a rumor that Barbara moved to the mainland from Hawaii to dance, to actually pursue dancing, and she just moved from Hawaii to mainland. That's why she's so good. That's why, she has lessons every week, and she pursues dancing in mainland. And nobody realized that it's not true that we function in this kind of way, right?
I told them, if Waipahu is the mainland, then
Waipahu, yeah. Google Waipahu. It's
a small
part of
rural. Not in the city.
Well, not rural. It's
no, but
rural.
It's not. You know what I mean?
Well, it's kind of like a part of a neighborhood, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that was the rumor.
Yeah, and then after the first embassy, I remember I got all this congratulations and everything. But since then, no.
Nothing, because people kind of, I don't know if it's jealousy or whatever. And then also, there was this aspect of money as well, right? Like people think that you're super rich, you bring in a teacher from mainland and so on and so forth, and they don't realize, right? You were like so surprised that I, told you, I stay in your house, in your guest room, no problem, right? Because it was like, oh my God, right?
Yeah.
And people think you like spending thousands of dollars to actually, right? And then we working.
Oh, you've been so generous
with budget. Well, I'm not doing stuff for free. Don't take a wrong impression. Don't. Right, but we working with the budget. You tell me, okay, this is my budget for this year, and then we figure out stuff, right? So it's really, it's.
I mean, I don't go out to fancy places. I save my money.
Only with me.
He won't go to McDonald's, so.
I'm a spoiled little brat. No, not really. I just like good food and good, nice places to eat. Come on, it's like.
Worth every penny, though.
So, and then the after COVID, we danced. I remember competition, the embassy as well, and you you danced pretty well, but again, still there was, you notice at this competition, it was your nerves were still playing a role there, right? You were like you were fighting
It was the mental,
inside.
like
Yeah,
I
the mental part.
because of all the COVID and I didn't believe that I could win.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And then you saw the scores, you saw the videos, you like video. Yeah, I got better, right? But because of the mental mindset, right? You were like, I don't know. And this actually mirrored in your dancing as well.
Yeah.
Right? And you won one dance. You ended up second in this competition. You won one dance, and you were like, "Oh my god! Like I didn't even know I won a dance, right?" And I was second. I was like, "Wow, okay, right." So then we worked all the way to the next championship, where you finally became the world champion, right, in embassy, and this was a big relief.
It was
I remember.
really so funny because you and Andrei Paramanov were talking. I'm like going, I think this is our heat.
Yeah.
And then you're talking, and then when you get to third, then you stop talking.
Yeah. She means the prize, the awards presentation. Yes. We were talking with Andrei. Andrei, how you doing?
But they really helped. They made me feel so much more relaxed.
Yeah. Andrei and Natalie?
Yes. Yeah. They're fabulous.
At some point, Barbara came and she said, "Oh, you know Andrei and Natalie, right?" I was like, "Yes." Can I say hi to them?
No, I said, I think you need to say hi to them.
something.
And then you said, why? Do you want to say hi to them?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Even though I spoke with them.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a groupie type of situation.
Yeah.
And so you danced this competition, and it was really after this, work, and we were doing a lot of meditation. We were doing sessions where we were working really hard on why you're thinking certain way, why this happens, da 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 da. I mean, I don't want to go into it, but it was very.
That was much harder for me than the
physical. Yeah.
Way harder.
Because it really, a lot of crying as well.
Yeah.
It was very.
And Asians don't cry.
Asians don't cry.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Some. But it was really, you're courageous to actually go there, though, because many people wouldn't right? But at some point...
But I knew that was something I needed to do.
Yeah, but we spoke about it because I asked you, okay, this is what I'm doing, right? I told you straight up, this is what I'm doing. I'm working on this. You need to tell me what you want to work on. Like, I won't go into the mental. I won't go into certain things. If you just want to dance, I will dance only, right? And I tell you, just dance stuff, right? So you wanted the whole package, and that way,
There were points where I thought, I kind of regret this.
Yeah, I kind of regret this, yeah. Well, not because I was, No. But it was like... Yeah,
it's hard to look at yourself.
Yes. Facing yourself and kind of go and say, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
This is why I'm doing that, right? So it's like,
because it kept on repeating everything I did.
Yeah. Yeah, and those spirals, right? Like it was...
The reels kept on playing over and
exactly
over.
Right. And at some point you broke it, and you go like, now it's so easy for you, right? Those certain things that in training or this and that. I mean, you still kind of jump sometimes into it. That's your go-to, your safe zone, right? But now
I can get out of it.
But you realized why did I do it to myself, right? Like,
Yeah.
why do I have this bad self-talk and blah, blah, blah? But it comes from the experience from life, right?
Yeah.
So it's very interesting how this works. Very interesting how this works.
And then I think what's hard is you think you're so special that you're the only one that thinks
That has
like
this problem.
Yeah, and then I listen to all the others and they have the same problem.
Yeah. You mean dance-wise or
Both.
anything? Anything.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
So people go through it and they fighting with themselves to
Yeah.
actually
That's why
achieve
it's
stuff.
good that you have this forum to talk about it, because then people can see
What forum?
the podcast.
You mean podcast?
Yeah.
No, I just want to bring, the stories of people. And I told you, right? Like Barbara was very hesitant to talk about because I would have, she said, yeah, but you have, celebrities on and dancers that are really good and professionals. And, I'm not that interesting. And, I'm just, a pro-am dancer. But,
Just like hick from my pahu.
well, I think if people listening to it, right, people that never dance, for example, or professionals, right, have an insight, like teachers, for example, or a pro-am student, right, and they listen to the conversation and where you come from and what was your journey, they can find some similarities and think about, okay, well, I can relate. Oh, I'm not the only one having this problem. Oh, yeah, there's a lesson to learn or whatnot, right? So I told you, like, I just want to have a conversation with you, and we put it out there. And even if, in my opinion, even if one person listens to it and finds a value in it, and it stays the one person, I'm happy.
Yeah. Because I told you today, like 5 years ago, who would have ever thought
That
we would be at this point?
at this point and doing
Because I would have
conversation.
never, ever thought about the world championship thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I wanted to get through the first round. I'd be so happy.
Yeah. I remember that. All right, Barbara. So, before we go to the final question, I always have a fun question for people. And it is, what do you think makes a dance show, special, or impresses you the most? Or I guess I'm throwing everything in it, so you kind of give me your opinion about dance show. I mean, dance show in terms of...
I better.
Oh, you better motivate yourself.
Yes, I have to have
Yeah,
some
Barbara,
motivation.
the people that just listening to the podcast and don't see the video, Barbara is taking a big sip of wine to motivate herself to answer the question.
Okay.
All right. So,
Okay.
so what do you think? I don't think... What makes you appreciate the show, or what makes you like the show or love the show, or what impresses you about the show the most when you see a dance show? And I'm not talking about the technical stuff, because technical stuff is always, we can always appreciate that. But like, what makes the show special for you? Like you were dancing in theater as well, right? So it's like,
They have to make me feel something.
So the show needs to make you feel something.
Yeah. So, I mean, like you said,
Okay.
I can see beautiful technical dancers.
Yeah.
But if I don't feel anything,
Mm-hmm.
if they don't make me feel like I want to be on the dance floor, I think I can do that. I want to do that.
So what would you say makes you do
So
that?
when I saw Karina and Slavic, their show, I just was floored.
But is it just because Karina is your role model, or was it...
Because I really liked her, but I liked her even more after seeing because it
And
was a
what-
performance. It
Yes,
wasn't
but-
just dancing.
Okay, so what did the performance so special?
Because you can see the interaction between the dancers.
So interaction between Slavi and Karina.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you
What
can
else?
see all the connection between them, how the musicality, how they
Okay.
use the music. So they're not
Music.
dancing like in the middle of the count. They take time for those
So the
quiet
dancing out.
moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like.
So it's not just
So it's if you would talk in terms of non-dancing terms of like it matches the music, right? Like it really they fill out the music part, right?
yeah, filling out the music.
Filling out
They
the
use
music.
every iota of the music.
Yeah. That's it. Nothing else.
Throw
What
me
else?
Some more. Throw me some more hints.
I don't know. No, you need to. I'm not giving you hints. I'm just asking a question. What makes
I just know,
a
like
show
when
special?
I watch, I go, wow. If
So
they make
it needs to make you feel. Let's recap. It needs to make you feel something when you're watching some show.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing that makes you feel something is, first of all, the interaction between dancers, right? And
Mhm.
filling out the music.
Yeah.
You said, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else? I'm asking. That's Barbara. It's not a
Is it a
a
pop quiz?
test. No, it's not a
Because
pop
I'm
quiz.
Asian, I don't want to get a B. I want to
No,
get an A+.
yes, right. Let's not start the Asian thing, please. Barbara likes
Jimmy Yang.
Jimmy Yang, the comedian, and we use a lot of his jokes in our interaction when we have a lesson, have lessons.
So he understands me
And
more.
I understand her narrative and stuff. And when she says some jokes, I understand what she refers to. Okay, so last question of the podcast is, through the journey of dancing, or even ballet dancing, or even the sport that you did, right? What valuable lesson or lessons did you learn walking the journey? Walking through, I mean,
all of them, I think you get.
all of them, you mean?
learn
Wait.
all
of them?
all of the different experiences that I've had.
Okay, you learn the same things,
Yeah.
which is, this is what I want to know. The lessons that you've learned throughout all those journeys that you had. Come on. No. This is the,
Well,
core.
like
This is the bread
as
and
far
butter
as, like,
of the podcast.
okay. So like for like my problem areas,
Okay.
like I have this thing that I have to get it right away, and so I'm trying to learn like patience with myself,
Patience.
because all throughout I always felt like I should be able to figure it out already.
Got it.
So I know that's a biggie for me.
So
And I always like to be.
So you learned to be more patient with yourself.
Yeah, especially on this last journey with the dancing.
Yeah.
Because prior to, like, if I wasn't the best, it's like, okay, next.
Next, got it. So you weren't patient with yourself.
No. Like, if I couldn't be the prima ballerina, if I would just be the corps de ballet, it's like, no.
But I don't think it's because you didn't like to work, hard work, right? I think because of your expectations more.
Yes.
Right? Not because you...
My expectations are always.
Yeah. And then you wanted to have it right away.
Yeah.
So patience
Yes.
was the first thing. What else? I mean, it could be the only one. You don't need to go into other ones. But I'm sure there's some... She goes, no, that's it. No, that's it? Patience?
That's a big one for me.
Nothing else you
that
learned?
and my expectations that I always think.
Well, knowing your story, I mean, you might realize it, you might not realize it, right? But knowing your story, I think don't letting not letting people walking over you anymore. That was a big one, right?
That's huge. And my because I've gone back to the school because I'm gonna be, working part time at the school.
Yeah.
They even noticed it. They said you've changed.
Hmm.
They said it's great. You don't let people walk over you.
Hmm.
So
Right.
they've noticed that.
Yeah. Yeah. So the dance like the, and I don't
I always
think
had to please everybody, and even
I
though
noticed
it
that.
made me,
Yeah. In the beginning, I
Yeah.
noticed that. Like
even though it was
whoa,
something
whoa,
I
whoa,
didn't
like-
want to do.
Yeah, because it was like when I came, and I believe, and I know you now, and I believe it was super genuine, right? But even when I came and stayed in your house, you went overboard, like, oh yeah, this and that. I was like, chill, like I got everything. You wanna like you were so like, oh my god, like went overboard,
Because
right?
you were Daniel Buhala,
Yeah, come on.
Swiss champion.
Right, Swiss champion. Nobody heard about Swiss champions.
No, I mean, you have to understand. I mean, you're talking Hawaii.
I understand, but I'm telling you, right?
Yeah.
So it's really, yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that. And then also, I'm thinking. Yeah, because they don't see it on the camera. So on Spotify, you don't see that. There's one more thing. I'm just thinking if I don't really reveal too much, right? I don't want to reveal too much, but there's also believe. It's such a cliche, but believe in yourself in terms of don't talk yourself down,
Huge.
right?
Huge.
This was one that
Huge.
you
The
still
self-talk was...
you still struggle
yeah,
with.
the self-talk
And
was,
it's gotten much better, but also, right, and it's just it's really the one that I think many dancers especially have. Like,
and it's
I'm
and if you're
nothing, and this
Asian
and that.
too, not to... You're really brought up to be humble. That you never, you
but
don't say
one
stuff
thing is
about yourself.
yes, but one thing is humble, and the other thing is telling yourself I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I cannot do anything. Like, don't go. Like, it's
I took it
extreme.
to the extreme.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it ain't pretty, right? And it's easy to go back there.
Yeah.
Right.
And I remember that one time we had the epiphany, and you said, do you think I don't want to dance with you? That I'm
Yeah.
going to stop coming? And I said, I think so.
Yeah.
That if I didn't perform.
It surprised me a lot because, I mean, it's a still, you like hiring me to do some work, right? And I like the work. I like to work to Hawaii, but it happened to be that in work, I like you as a person, as a human being, right? And we just have this cool relationship. But I was really surprised that you were thinking that, oh, if I don't do well, you just, cancel me or whatever, like you stop working with me, right? And I'm like, wow, like, why you think that? Yeah, because right? Explanation. And I'm like, whoa, stop right there.
Yeah.
That's a huge one.
Yeah.
That's a huge one. So we learned 3 things. Be patient, right, with yourself.
You're very,
Yeah. Don't let people walk all over you, right?
Know your worth.
Know your worth. And then what else? You said what? The last one? The wine is kicking in, by the way.
I know.
No, the third one was the self-talk, the negative
Yeah.
self-talk, right?
Yeah, you
Even
gotta
though,
stop that right
and I
when
mean,
it starts.
yeah, but you
And
have
everyone has it.
situations. Yeah, you have situations in training, in practice, and with us too. Like, I sometimes get mad because you always going to the same spot, and we talked about it thousand times, but it happens, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Barbara, enough already, right? And you go, oh, you stop dancing with me. It was like, the second one, don't say that. I'm
Yeah.
not stopping. Like, stop, right? Stop.
Do I have to sit on the bench again?
Yeah, sit up there. Yeah.
Do I have to go
Oh,
to timeout?
Yeah, this was so funny. Yeah, the first ever embassy we did, right?
Yeah. I spent so much time on the bench.
Yeah, Barbara came and she was
It was a hurricane.
she was like kind of, I don't even think it was because of embassy, but it was kind of like the first competition with me, and you didn't have a clue what the competition is about. Yeah, world championship, blah blah blah. But it was
Because
first
I still
competition
didn't even
with
know.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was first competition
Yeah.
with me, and you were like, oh my god, right? And then what I did was I let her sit on the bench like for half an hour. For when I saw that she kind of like relaxed, and she goes like, okay, yeah, okay, well, like, I cannot do anything, I'm just sitting here. Okay, then I danced, and then at some point, right, the first day was like, oh my gosh, go sit down. Like, I can't even, like, you were so right.
It was like Caesar Milan
It was
with
crazy.
with the dogs, the dog training. So I felt like I feel like one of those dogs.
Barbara Barbara is comparing everything to dog training because she loves dogs.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah, but I mean, it was
I would start
it-
walking to the bench already.
yeah,
'cause I
already, because
okay, it's
you
gonna be
realized,
that
oh, I'm
time.
doing it again.
Yeah.
Boom. So you went, but it actually, then you realize, okay, yeah, that's it, right? What can I do?
Because I
Just
kept on thinking,
relax.
but I
Yeah.
gotta dance. I
Yeah, I
I
gotta
don't
dance.
know
I-
these. I
yeah,
don't know
I-
these routines
I have
well
three-
enough.
And you knew the routines,
and all
right?
the talk.
Yeah, all the talk, all the self-talk, and so on. Perfect. Barbara, it was a lovely talk.
Yeah.
I don't even know how long we did talk. Oh my God, 2 hours.
But you know what?
That's awesome, man.
What I want to tell people is,
What?
if you have a dream, anybody can do what I did. It's not something that you can achieve.
You're getting very teary.
Yes, I am.
Because?
Because people out there think, I could never do that. I can't do that. Anybody can. You just have to do the work.
But you were told by people as well, right? Stop crying. No, but I guess because you actually went through the timeline and realized
Yep.
where you were and where you're now, right? It's like, whoa, I did that. The
Yeah.
realization. And a little bit of wine.
Yeah.
It was
Hawaii.
half a glass. Come on. It's not that much. Half a glass. Yeah, but it's true. Like, when you
people
stay on
think
it,
that they can't. They
Mhm.
can't. I can't do that. I can't.
yeah,
Like, I don't have enough money. I don't have this. I don't have
Yeah.
that.
yeah, yeah,
I don't have a lot of money, but I figure out a way.
yeah.
I
And
teach
manage.
lay
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
classes.
Yeah,
I do
lay-
this. I do that. I do whatever I can.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's anything is possible.
yeah. Yeah, but we kind of, like, I don't know. I'm just making sure that you kind of like, you tell me the budget, and it's like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
figuring out, okay, I need to do this and this and this dance, this and this and this.
Yeah.
Till the competition, I have only certain amount of lessons, blah blah blah, right?
No, and I
So-
appreciate that because
Well, I mean, you wanna dance? I like Hawaii, even though I don't go to the to the
you don't
beach.
you don't do anything in Hawaii except dance.
But I like the relax in the plane. It's always my time off when I fly to Hawaii. To be honest, the 6 hours is my time, me time. And people say, I hate flying and this and that. It's me time.
Mm-hmm.
It's me time. And I just, watch Elvis Presley movie or whatever, something, or read a book or listen to the audio book or working. Now I will work on the podcast, obviously. But, it's a me time. So I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Even though I don't get to see the beach, but,
No, I'm very thankful.
I'm thankful that you gave me a second home in Hawaii, because I've been there. Like, you have those forms when you fly, right?
Yep.
And you go, how many times you been in Hawaii? I remember when I went first time, I was like, first time, it was so special. I was meeting my brother. We didn't even know each other.
Yeah.
And I met my brother in Hawaii, and I was so happy. And I was like, oh my gosh, Hawaii, right? And now I'm going, and I was like, yeah, Hawaii. But it still strikes me when I see those, those colors and those beaches when I'm flying in. Man, it's just, every time I'm going, it's like, back to the islands, and it's just a different vibe.
No, and if we can make it work, I mean, we don't see each other. So the people that say, oh, I can't do it because, I can't practice with my partner, all the time. It's like, hello.
Because he's living in another town. Or he's 30 minutes from me away, and we are an hour away from each other, so we see each other 3 times a week only.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
And I'm up, and then this competitions, I'm up against people that are like, they're dancing all the time.
I know. We talked about it many times, and this is also part of the self-talk, because you go in, well, I have a disadvantage, right? And we talked about it many times that you need to make your disadvantages to your advantages, meaning, because we don't see each other, you have a lot of time to do and go over the drills and practice on your own, right? And I give you certain exercises that, automatize your body. Yeah. And when you do them, right?
And that's what I told people. I said, it's the exercises. It's the exercises.
Well, in our case, of course, like if we would see each other every week, of course, I would adjust the training and do slightly different, but the exercises would stay, but in different way and form. Yeah. So, Barbara, it was 2 hours, 2 lovely hours. I always have fun with you. I mean, we go, we have talks, we have training, we always. Like, I got to know you, and I said it. You have a big heart. You're a very lovely person, and I just, it's a pleasure to teach you. Sometimes you pain in the ass, as I tell you. Yes, you are, with your ideas about stuff, but I'm sure I'm not easy myself, and I give you a hard time sometimes. But in the end, it works out, right?
It's for the best.
It's for the best, though. Yeah. Thank you. I'm looking forward to the competition. We will see. Barbara just started standard, so not just Latin. So I'm looking forward to it. And maybe we do the podcast again in some 2-3 years, and we will see what's going on in your life.
Yes.
If you you have some other titles to share with us, and
maybe I'll have a groupie person.
Yeah, because you're a world champion. Who knows? Listen, everything is possible. Dreams are possible. You just said it. All right, Barbara. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you. Move the mic. I told you move the mic. There we go. Not yet. I need to just finish. On the end, she want a hug and everything.
It's a Hawaii thing.
She want a hug and everything. All right. So, cheers. I finished my wine. It was a lovely talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for listening, guys. This was, is, and always will be a judgment-free zone. Remember, you listen to Dance Art and Life podcast. I'm your host, Danya the Gypsy. And have a good evening, night, or morning, wherever you are. Thank you very much.